News 4 Midday starts now.
Takes a stand in former Governor Bob McDonnell's corruption trial. Find out the bombshell information the prosecution uncovered. And a new metro line is open for the first time in decades. We caught up with riders as they took their first trip on the Silver Line. News 4 Midday starts now. Welcome to News 4 Midday. I'm Lauren Meier. For the second time in less than a week, someone was caught bringing an illegal handgun onto the U.S. Capitol complex. I'm Lauren Meier, and I'll have that story for you coming up. I'm Lauren Meier in Northeast Washington near Catholic University, and I'll tell you what architects are using to ship in some new housing coming up. IKEA has joined other national chains in issuing a no firearms policy. Now, we did see at least 3 uniformed officers packing heat, walking in and out of the store, showing that IKEA has in fact clarified the policy with its employees. From College Park, Maryland, I'm Lauren Meier, NBC4. Jimmy Fleming has been charged of 2 counts of second-degree murder and 1 count of assault with intent to kill. From the D.C. courthouse, I'm Lauren Meier, NBC4. While it is incredibly heartbreaking that this historic landmark is no more, you can still find the cherished horses such as Ace, Miss Pete, and Hap at Cladoff Farms on Jefferson Road. A 9-year-old girl and her father have died after a summer vacation took a tragic turn. A small plane hit the family while making an emergency landing on a beach in Venice, Florida. The pilot made a public appearance after killing Army Sergeant Omi Irizarry and his daughter Oceana. She died this morning after being airlifted to a hospital with critical injuries. Pilot Carl Kokomor said he landed on a beach where the Irizarry family was to avoid a crowded beach nearby. FBI is making their move official. Today, FBI headquarters say the agency will be leaving the nation's capital. The options for its headquarters have been narrowed to 3 sites. The first is a warehouse site in Springfield, Virginia. The other 2 options are in Prince George's County, Maryland. The reason for the big move? FBI operations are rapidly growing. They are now leasing 20 properties around the city to house all of their employees. Officials want the new site to be large enough to keep all operations in one central location. Right now, the U.S. men's soccer team is getting ready for its next World Cup match. You'll have to wait until July to watch the team play. Of course, that's just days away. Here's what to expect. Belgium could be a big challenge. The country hasn't lost a game in the Cup. Not only that, the teams have played 5 times before, and Belgium won 4 of those 5 games. The teams are closely ranked. If the U.S. does not win, it would mean the end of its World Cup hopes. The World Cup, unlike most American sports, you can walk away defeated with a smile on your face. That was the case today here in DuPont as thousands of fans from both teams gathered to watch the U.S. take on Germany. Excitement filled DuPont Circle this afternoon as fans decked out in stars and stripes brought their vuvuzelas to cheer on the U.S. men's soccer team in the 16th round of the World Cup.
You advance. You live to fight another day, that's fine.
However, certain people had to make a serious decision of which team to root for. Like this family where mom is German-born and dad is American.
I got chaos in my house right now, so it's a rival. But the thing about it is we just out here to have a good time.
We'll just play fight every now and then.
Others were able to work out an agreement that a diplomat could only envy.
Yeah, I have a lot of German friends, and I've been to Germany and cheering for both sides, but I'm American, so have to cheer for an American team at heart.
Regardless of their team choice, the atmosphere in DuPont was the next best thing to being in Rio.
The community feel, good team spirit here.
The German team was largely represented as the German embassy hosted the event with the help of DuPont Festival. Although Team USA fans were disappointed with the 1-0 score, fans still see it a success as they were happy to see the support and see both teams advance. From DuPont Circle, I'm Lauren Meier, NBC4. Mark Betancourt is battling more than just the sweltering heat at the old-time Twin Oaks Community Garden.
Lettuce, melons, kale, there's a whole herb area over here. We got peppers of a bunch of different kinds, beans, tomatoes, cucumbers, and strawberries on the other side.
36 people have plots in the garden with 100 on the waiting list. Members pay a flat annual fee of $30 per year, which goes to tools that are shared between the participants. Some of the neighbors have been growing food for their families in the garden since the 1960s. But as the neighborhood is growing, the garden is in danger of being paved over. The district is renovating nearby Powell Elementary to address increasing enrollment. Preliminary plans involve rooting up part of the garden for teacher parking.
Well, first of all, we want to be very clear that we support the school's renovation. We're 100% behind, in fact, even them having a parking lot. We think there are ways that we can keep the garden where it is and also make sure that the school has everything it needs.
Brian Hanlon, who is the director of the Department of General Services, is overseeing this conflict. His goal is to make sure the community has access to good schools and healthy living.
Heard the community's concerns. We actually have a community meeting tonight, and in that meeting we're going to review a series of options. Powell is going to open up in August of 15. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful addition to the community in terms of architecture and high-performance educational space, and we believe we can have that and a beautiful urban garden scape.
As you can see, this is a beautiful garden enjoyed by dozens. Tonight, both the school and members of the community will meet to discuss the fate of this plot of land. From Northwest Washington, I'm Lauren Meier, NBC4. That's right, Ariana. It happened twice in the last week. 2 people are now facing charges after attempting to carry a gun inside the U.S. Capitol complex. And this morning, a strong warning to visitors of the Capitol. First, it was a congressional staff member, and this time a lobbyist. At around 9 a.m. this morning, Ronald Prestige, a turkey farmer from South Carolina, came through this security checkpoint where he was stopped. When U.S. Capitol Police searched his briefcase, they found a loaded 9mm Ruger like the one pictured here. Prestige was immediately taken into custody and charged with carrying a gun without a license. He was on his way to the office of South Carolina Congressman Tom Rice. However, his staff was unaware of the arrest and did not have any idea as to why he would be meeting with the congressman. News 4 spoke to District of Columbia Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton about how she thinks these events will impact the public.
I don't think it'll have an effect upon our tourists. I do think it may have an effect upon people who might otherwise have tried to bring guns into the District of Columbia, because now they are told not a good idea.
In just less than a week, there have been 2 incidents of people bringing illegal handguns onto the U.S. Capitol complex. Both incidents took place in the Cannon office building, where the teams of at least 85 congressional districts are housed. Last week's incident involved a staffer to a Pennsylvania congressman. He has been suspended from his job and is still awaiting a court date. He says he brought the gun to work by mistake. As gun-related incidents are increasing in the District of Columbia, Holmes Norton hopes that this occurrence will send a message.
I don't think that necessarily means we ought to put anybody in jail who made a mistake, but I think this is a learning opportunity to teach the rest of the country how to behave when you come to the District of Columbia.
Although he was arrested earlier this morning, Petrich will be spending the night in jail until he appears before a judge tomorrow. He faces charges of carrying a loaded weapon in the District of Columbia without a permit. From the U.S. Capitol, I'm Lauren Meier, NBC4.